Good morning, everyone. It's Friday morning. It's good to be with you and to be sharing these thoughts with you. Just a reminder, on Sunday morning, we will be live streaming again from church, 11 o'clock, and trust that you'll be able to join us for that service on Sunday morning. Also, just to say again, if you've been reading through the reading plan, I'd love you to share your thoughts on what God is saying to you through Mark's Gospel. You can do that on the Facebook page underneath this video, or you can do it via YouTube, or even just send me a message. It would be great to hear from you. And again, if you need anything, any help or any support, please do send a message, get in touch, let us know, and we'll do our best to help you out. We'll be doing the midweek again next Wednesday night via Zoom. It seemed to work okay last week, and I'll send out the link for that again at the beginning of next week. I'm going to read from Mark 1, the last 10 verses or so of Mark chapter 1, beginning at verse 35. And rising very early in the morning, while it was still dark, he departed and went out to a desolate place, and there he prayed. And Simon and those who were with him searched for him, and they found him and said to him, "Everyone's looking for you." And he said to them, "Let us go on to the next towns, that I may preach there also, for that is why I came out." And he went throughout all Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and casting out demons. And a leper came to him, imploring him, and kneeling, said to him, "If you will, you can make me clean." Moved with pity, he stretched out his hand and touched him, and said to him, "I will, be clean." And immediately the leprosy left him, and he was made clean. And Jesus sternly charged him and sent him away at once, and said to him, "See that you say nothing to anyone, but go, show yourself to the priest, and offer for your cleansing what Moses commanded, for a proof to them." But he went out and began to talk freely about it and to spread the news, so that Jesus could no longer openly enter a town, but was out in desolate places, and people were coming to him from every quarter. In a book that I've been reading called An Unhurried Leader, the author, Alan Fadling, talks about the importance of our vision of God informing and equipping our vision for God. In other words, he's saying how we live the Christian life, how we lead in the Christian church, but how we live the Christian life and our vision for the Christian life, our vision for our own service, our own discipleship, needs to be grounded in our vision of the God who has loved us and saved us, the God who cares about us, the God to whom we can come as Father. Our activity, in other words, whatever it is, must flow from our relationship with God. And as Christians, all of our activities flow from our relationship with God. He is there to sustain us in all that we do. And so in our work life, whether you're on the hospital ward or in the classroom or teaching remotely, or whether you are on the farm, or whether you're working in a shop, or whether you're caring for grandchildren, whatever it is your activity is, that is still informed by your vision of who God is. And you're living that out in those places every day. And we can only keep our focus on God and who He is by spending time with Him, by setting aside time to be with Him. Jesus, in these passages, is feeling under pressure from the crowds. They are gathering and gathering and gathering. His fame, we're told, is spreading throughout Galilee. And the pressure on him is building. And so what he does is he gets up early in the morning, while it's still dark, we're told. He leaves the house, finds somewhere out of the way, and spends time with his Father. That's time that he needed to refocus on what his mission is, which is to proclaim the kingdom of God. So when Peter and the others come out to him and say, "Everyone's looking for you, what are you doing?" And he says, "Right, let's move on. Because the reason I came was to preach the kingdom of God. It's not to perform healing miracles. It's not to cure mothers-in-law of fever. The reason I came was to preach the kingdom and proclaim the kingdom. And that's my focus. That's what I'm about. That time spent with God was time that Jesus needed, and he did it regularly, and it refocused him on his mission. But that didn't mean that he stopped the healing side of his ministry, because the one thing we know about Jesus is that he's full of compassion for those who suffer, for those who are in need, for those who are desperate. And so when this leper comes to him and says to him, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Jesus, of course, is full of compassion, is moved with compassion for this man. And in order to demonstrate that compassion, he does it in a remarkable way. He touches the man. Jesus didn't need to do that. Jesus could speak and the man would be healed. But he chose to touch the man. Just imagine what that meant to a leper, to someone who was isolated from his community, someone who was an outcast, someone who people avoided, who when they saw him coming, or if they happened to encounter him out in the road, they made sure they crossed to the other side. We all, at the moment, miss human touch, don't we? We miss a firm handshake, we miss a hug, we miss those things that have just come so naturally to us in days past. Imagine being the only person that no one will touch. Everyone else is shaking hands and hugging around you, but no one will touch you. And then Jesus touches you, and his touch makes you clean. His touch restores you. We're going to think a little bit more about this on Sunday, but what I want to leave you with today is this notion. One is, don't let pressure, whatever pressure you might be under right now, distract you from God. Spend time with him. Spend time in prayer. Spend time in his word. He will sustain you when you're feeling under pressure. And don't be so single-minded about things that there's no room in your life for compassion, for reaching out to those in need, for being the person that you will spend time with someone who has shared a particular need with you. Allow God to focus your vision today. Allow him to point you in the direction he wants you to go, to reaffirm to you what your calling is, what your purpose is, what his will for you is, and go out into the world to share him, proclaim him, and show his compassion to those around you. In doing that, we'll be following the pattern of our Master Jesus. Take care. God bless.